Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. We're back. I'm back with Elodie for Bridgerton season 4, part 2.
We have a lot of feelings.
We got a lot of feelings. We got a lot of feelings. Overall, my feelings about this season are still positive. Like, I'm
Ditto.
overall like, great.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
Benedict could hit me with a truck, and I would say thank you. Michaela and Francesca loved every minute of it. I really hope they're the next season. We'll talk about that.
Finishing this season, I cannot guess whether it'll be Eloise or
No, I have
Francesca,
no
but I have
idea.
seen some like comments about it that make me lean towards potentially more. I think we'll get into that later.
Of course.
But welcome, listener, to We Read It One Night, the podcast where we talk about the romance books that make us want to stay up all night reading. I'm joined by Elodie. We're talking about Bridgerton, which is not a book, but the books did make me want to stay up all night reading.
I did.
Even though Benedict's book was, they really saved Brent. I'll say this. They saved Benedict's reputation.
And I think that's where I enjoyed this season so much because I did not have an attachment to the book. And they really went in and did some plastic surgery on that one. It was enjoyable. It was fun. He was a himbo,
Yeah.
but well-meaning. He was unique from his brothers. I loved it.
Yeah. It really was just like a few very small changes
Mm.
to his character. Like they didn't do this like huge overhaul, you know?
No, they just really, and I think they had really done a good job of laying the groundwork from previous seasons where it felt like a payoff. When you see him being so curious slash flighty slash, as Violet says, non-committal.
Yeah.
And you see
Yeah.
him not come to the right conclusion right away and how to handle Sophie and their life together. And he has to like be
Hmm.
led to, he's the horse being led to water. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought it through. No, you haven't.
I did see that someone was saying that Luke Thompson, who is like the
Mhm.
actor that plays Benedict, has had the most screen time of any of the brothers.
Ugh. Total over the whole series or for the
Yes,
hero?
over the whole series, but I think like even like by last season, you know what I mean? Like he's
Mm,
had like
yeah.
in terms of like background.
Because I think there's this interesting thing where he is like an emotional support for all of his siblings,
Yeah.
and he then is so emotionally isolated this season because he can't share
Yeah.
what's going on. And then to have his
Yeah.
brothers come at him and be like, you are risking everything. You are going
Yeah.
to ruin our lives and you will be cast out of the family. That hit.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the brothers. Because people have had thoughts about Anthony.
I'm an Anthony apologist.
I
People can
literally
come
was
at me.
like, all these boys have so much lip for Daddy Anthony
I know.
when he's funding their entire lives.
Yes. Funding their entire life, responsible for the safety and financial protection of the sisters, which actually is like the really
Yes.
important thing here. And is also like he needs to have his own life. We also have to remember that like we had a whole season about how Anthony needed to be independent of the family and be taken care
Yeah.
of.
He's like, I literally, like, I thought I could leave you guys alone. I thought I could leave you guys alone for 5 minutes.
Why can't you just let me go to India with my beautiful wife and child?
Oh my God, the world's most perfect baby.
That baby gave me baby fever. It immediately went away afterwards, but like,
Yes.
boy, the cutest baby.
I now know why they didn't show us the baby last season, even though they showed us Penelope and Colin's babies, because they had to do so much work to find a baby with the same perfect eye, like Disney princess eyes, as Simone Ashley.
Which that eyelashes and the like, oh my God. And when Anthony says, "Oh, he's up, it's time to go to the Pall Mall pitch," I was like, oh, this is how you do callbacks and romance perfectly.
It was so cute. It was so cute. I'm so glad that like Johnny and Simone are both like very vocal about being
Yes.
like I want to cut like especially Johnny is like
Hmm.
I will make time for this. Like I've like told my like management or whatever that like even if it's like just a scene.
I'm so glad because I do think while I've seen complaints about them not being there for the funeral, I imagine that one was a harder one to coordinate. I'm so glad that we still got them there to like
Hmm.
intervene be integrated into the family so that you know that like obviously they're all close, and then being at the wedding at the end and
Yeah.
like the closeness, it just breaks my
Yeah.
heart open.
Yeah.
That being said, Anthony is correct. And based off of everything they've ever known about Benedict, they don't know that he's done all of this
Right.
growth.
Right. I and people were like, "Oh, like why is Anthony, like Kate was also like lower class, like whatever." And I'm like, I feel
The
like I
same
don't
thing.
know how people didn't get it because I really feel like they made it explicitly clear that the
Yeah.
problem is not that Sophie is a maid. I mean, that's part of the problem,
Yes.
but the primary problem is that she's illegitimate. And
Yeah.
like Lady Danbury and Violet have a whole conversation in which like Violet's like, yeah, her father's a lord. And Lady Danbury's like, it doesn't really matter because her mom's a maid. You know what I mean? Like if she were just a maid, it would be way easier to raise her up. But
Yeah.
because she's illegitimate, and I'm like, Kate was legitimate. Kate was legitimate. And also like her father was a
Correct.
clerk. Like it's not
Yeah.
like her father was like working class. Her father was professional
No.
class. She has a stepmother who is a lady.
Mhm. Yep.
She's sponsored by Lady Danbury.
Hmm.
Like, I was like, it's not
It's
the
not the
same thing at
same.
all.
Not even close. And this is where, too, like, they, thank you, Netflix, for being over the top. Like, they explicitly stated at every stage, Sophie put it out there on, like, why it could not happen. She was illegitimate. She has, like, great personal risk going on here that, like,
hmm
it's not just her, but their future children that are going to be cast out of society as well. And I think that's the piece that also maybe doesn't like land for people. But then Anthony says it explicitly.
Yeah. But even though I will say that, like, the one criticism of Daddy Anthony I have
Yes.
is the fact that, like, I feel like in that conversation, like, he did lead more on, like, it's not socially acceptable, it could ruin our family,
Mhm.
as opposed to, like, you could ruin that girl's life. So I
Yeah,
do wish there was a little bit more. I felt like Benedict's side of the characters did focus more on, like,
the
the
risk.
family, which I
Yeah.
get, but I'm also like, I wish there was like, one more like Sophie.
Right. I wish someone had come. It could have even been like a Lady Danbury moment to just be like, you are asking her to do a lot. And
Yeah.
like she has been the product of what you are asking her to do. Like fucking cool, like cool it.
Cool it. Cool your jets.
Cool your jets, give her space, come with a well-prepared plan,
Yeah.
and respect her. Because I think that was the thing. It's like I did have a note. I was like, he needs to give her a little bit of space. This feels like workplace harassment. I know they're in love, but it started to like border on he needs to leave her alone.
Right. And that's like Anthony, and that scene with Anthony did a lot of work in terms of, but he was like, you're like, she's in our home. He's like,
Yeah.
he like HR Anthony is coming
It's her
in,
like
being like, you're her
you're
boss.
her boss. You have absolute control over her livelihood. Stop
Yeah.
it.
And he's also like, and just like one more comment with that scene with
Yeah.
Anthony is it does do a lot of work in solidifying that Benedict has grown because Anthony
Hmm.
tries to because we start that scene with him being
Yeah.
like, your valet let me intimidate you,
Yeah.
like, and he shouldn't do that or whatever, or let me intimidate him, and
Yeah.
then he tries to intimidate Benedict, like, which is very much like a front. Like I don't
Yeah.
think there's any circumstance in which he would cut Benedict off. Like
No.
it was very much like a test. Like, okay, like art, like, do you
Yeah.
understand
Like
the magnitude of what you want to do?
exactly. And that's where too I loved that mirroring scene with Violet where she like it hits her that he actually loves Sophie and that this is different and this isn't just a
Yeah.
dalliance that he's had. And seeing Violet fight with I want him to be happy and I want him to be with her, but like he cannot just
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
really landed the family relationships in all of this and those
Yes.
dynamics this season. And I think that lends itself to why the season felt far more integrated than
Yes.
previous seasons.
Yes, because everything comes back to
Yeah.
Benedict and Sophie. Like
Yeah.
every subplot
The
is
Mondriches are
affects
in
their
support.
storyline. Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. And yeah, Benedict, Violet, the minute Benedict is like, I'm in love, like Violet locks the fuck in.
She's like,
She's like,
okay,
oh,
bet.
excuse me, I didn't know that
Please.
that's where we are.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I thought this was like the kite in your office, then
Yeah.
whatever, back at my cottage. But when Mama Bear Violet comes out and is like, we are
Yeah.
going to solve this.
Yeah.
Oh, I love.
Although I am sad that we didn't get the I'm more popular than you line.
Why didn't we? That would have been well, I guess it's not, it runs contrary to the Violet in the show, who is
Yeah.
warmer.
Yeah. And speaking of the kite, did you notice I someone on Threads pointed this out to me, so I don't want to take credit for noticing it, but someone pointed out that Benedict, his like little lapel, his like cravat pin in the
Yeah.
wedding is a like miniature of the kite.
No.
Yeah.
I love that.
So cute.
Oh, I'm so glad someone caught that. See, again, I come back to the same, which is also this season just felt like romance. They really
Hmm.
nailed those nods that felt so sentimental and all of the things like I loved, and I think we had maybe predicted this, how he figured out she was the lady in silver with the
Yes.
necklace and the like, oh my God moment
Yes.
of it.
And I'm so glad that he wasn't angry the
No.
way he was in the book. Like in the book, he's
Yeah.
like borderline vindictive.
Yes. It was too macho, like I've been humiliated or I've been had.
Yeah. Because like he's absolutely valid in feeling embarrassed and feeling
Yeah.
upset that she like this person that they have at this point confessed their feelings to each other,
Yes.
was keeping this huge secret. But yeah,
Yes.
like the way he reacts in the show is like, and that's what I was talking about. It's like the
Mhm.
tiniest change where he's still like, why didn't you tell me? Like I'm
Yeah.
upset you didn't tell me, but also like I understand why you didn't tell,
Yes.
you know?
He's just emotionally mature in a way
Yeah.
that really, and I guess it plays off because they had him be so playful that it would come off as like insolent if he then
Yeah.
was vindictive. Like, A, bad, should not be vindictive, but B, it would have just turned him into a toddler. And this way he's a man and a partner who's learning and growing.
I will say I did get a little bit. There was a moment where I like toddler Benedict did come out a little bit for
Yeah.
me, and it was the love confession.
Oh, when he had his
Just okay,
hands on his head, I love you, and then his arms are out.
okay. So on one hand, I love the love confession, and I think the line
Mhm.
delivery was phenomenal. Like the whispered "I love you"
Yeah.
at the end,
Oh,
phenomenal. And I liked how he was talking about as a character, like how he's changed for her. But
yeah.
like before then, like when he's listing all the reasons they can't be together and he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, it sucks so much how like I think about
Yeah.
you all the time and like I want to be with you." It just
Oh,
felt a little whiny.
yeah.
I was like, I get it sucks, but again, Benedict, my man, and this was episode 5, so he still had some
Yeah.
growing to do. But I was like, "Sir, it's not hard for you. You're not having a hard time."
No, I was gonna say, I think this is the one thing that was missing for me, which is like, I think he lacked a little bit of understanding and empathy for what Sophie was feeling. Because, like, I loved what she said around, like, every time you do this and every time you show me what could be, like, it hurts. Like, it's being taken
Yes.
away from me. He has
Yes.
the possibility of going on and find it's, she always poses, like, you have the possibility of going and getting married and having a
Yeah.
family and leaving me behind. I do not. I can't, what is the word that I'm thinking of? It's all or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. And she even asked, she's like, why was it appropriate for you to kiss
Yeah.
me, but it was not appropriate for you to kiss the lady in silver? When she sees that painting, she's like, you would never have done that to this woman, but you did it to me.
And also then fast forwarding to the morning after when she's like, this was a mistake, and he is going on about like, oh, it's a perfect time to snuggle in, and she's like, it's a perfect time to work. And like we're brought back
Yeah.
to she has a role, this is complicated. And he does this thing where he's like being playful and he makes this face, which is very adorable, but also I can imagine very annoying if you are Sophie in that situation. I still think it like that intimacy is so easy between them that
Mm-hmm.
I love that they built up all of that familiarity over the first four episodes and they waited for the like bang to go off. And
Mm-hmm.
I have thoughts and questions about the choreography of the love scenes. Bizarro in episode 5. Not their fault, just like the cuts, the cameras were moving in and out a lot, and there were a lot
Yeah.
of rapid cuts. Where it was like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't think we're building towards anything. I also question whether she had a pinnacle, which is like a
Mm.
break against romance law. Obviously, she was enjoying herself, but
Right.
ladies must come first.
We do have the sexy bath, which is all
Oh,
about
which we
her.
love. And I love that.
Because she is like, I can't risk it.
Yes.
Right. So like it's explicitly like no penetration.
No penetration, all about her pleasure. So A, it's like again, it's he's demonstrating the safety and that he is like recognizing the risk and taking care of her emotionally, physically, etc. I also noticed, and someone pointed this out on Threads, with the water sloshing out, she is now a part of the like not taking care of the
Yeah.
aftermath, which there's nuance there, but is really interesting to see her let go and just like embrace the fact that she's now with
Hmm.
him.
Yeah. I will say though, first time they have sex. So, okay, first of all, in the book, listener, if you haven't read it, which I feel like I've been pretty clear, I wouldn't recommend it.
No,
I'm
you
sorry,
don't need
Julia
to.
Quinn. Benedict's book was not for me. She loses her virginity on a couch
Yeah.
in the book. So this was like a great step up. We got a bed, we got a
Yes.
fire.
It was romantic. I really
Yes.
like the chemistry between them is amazing.
Yes.
Like when she's like, go slow, I heard it can hurt the first time, and he's just so gentle with
Yes.
her.
Yes. But my qualms about that, like thank God it's not a couch. One, however, did feel kind of weird about the fact there was a middle school dance going on downstairs.
Okay, yeah, and Alice Mondrich across the hall. Like that is the family
Yes.
hallway.
Yes. Well, okay. Let me just my one more qualm, and then I want to go
Mhm.
back to the Alice Mondrix part. At the end, like the next morning, Benedict's like, I took what happened between the other night, like with the utmost seriousness. And I'm like, then why didn't
Yeah.
you pull out? There
This
wasn't a French letter in sight, sir. It feels like you didn't take it as seriously as you could have.
this piece, and that's where I felt like he is obviously a man of the world in Bohemian. He could have easily,
I was like, you have a French letter in your drawer or like a sponge.
many. And like Sophie is, there could have been a really interesting angle because I think it's interesting that she says, I know it can hurt. So she knows about her body and what sex is supposed
Right.
to be, which is an interesting parallel to like Francesca being like, what is a pinnacle? I don't know what sex
Yeah.
is. Class, obviously, like things are happening and
Yeah.
conversations are had. But then Benedict could have built on that and they could have been like a far
Yeah.
more,
I would have loved to have seen historical birth control. And it
ugh,
would have been so timely,
it would have been
like especially
perfect.
right now. I mean, we like very rarely get historical birth control, so I'm not gonna like
No.
knock Bridgerton for not putting that in. Like that's so unless you're like dealing with a show like Harlots, which is
Yeah,
literally about sex workers
exactly.
historically. But
I mean, to your point, though, at the very least, they could have pulled out, which was a whole thing that Simon did.
right,
Like, and it could have been a very interesting conversation about consent. Like, we are going to
right,
do this. This is not, but I guess the point is then there's miscommunication where he takes this as like, we are now together and you
right.
have accepted my pursuit. And she's like,
Yeah,
I have feelings for you, but I cannot go all the way in terms of like giving up my life.
yeah.
Ugh,
Although in the moment that night, I do feel like Sophie as a character is like in it, like they're on the same
yeah.
page that night, and then like in the
Mhm.
light of the morning, she starts
Yeah.
to have second thoughts and regrets.
And she realizes exactly what
Yeah,
could happen, which is
yeah,
why, like, when she goes back and she circles the date and she's tracking her period, and like, there's such an emphasis on that. Like, she is realizing she's going
hmm
down the same path as her mother, or
hmm
we don't really know the context of the relationship between her mother and Lord Penwood, but it all comes crashing down. But back to Alice Mondrich across the hall. First of all, boy, loved their subplots. Phenomenal. I have to say, the Cresta Cowper thing felt really mean-spirited, though.
That was. They were so mean. First, okay.
Mean.
Cressida and Alice Mondrick are, yeah, two different, because like I got stuff to say about Cressida too. But
I
yes,
have a
yes,
lot
I
to,
agree.
yes.
I was like, oh, Alice. Like I
Alice,
get that it was like for the queen's
it was
side.
for the queen to earn her trust and her humor.
Yeah, like I understand narratively why it happened. I think I struggled with it because like like everyone else seems to be forgiven for scandals like by the
Yes.
time the next season rolls around, whereas like Cressida, like the reasoning for that was like, oh, she pretended to be Lady Whistledown. And like that's the only beef that the queen has with her.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, but it's been a season. Like historically, you should just forget about this by now.
This is the piece that I have where also like, and we can talk about this too. I feel like Penn has not faced enough consequences, and she's not like reckoned with like the actual harm she's done because it comes up again when she
Yeah.
writes about the man's mistress and she's ruining someone's life, but she's like, I was warning him.
Yes.
And I'm like, girl, you're smarter than this. You
Like
are
why didn't
brilliant.
you warn her? Like she points it
Yes.
out. She's like, why didn't you warn the mistress?
Exactly. Like you are a woman who was like on the periphery of society. Theoretically, the way the character was built, she should have had empathy and like gone about it a different way rather than using the power of her pen.
Yeah.
But which is why I'm so glad that she is retired.
Oh my God, I'm so glad. Yeah, we'll talk about who we think the new Whistledown
Yes.
is too. And especially because she and maybe they kind of lost this because Madame Delacroix isn't in this
Hmm.
season, which I do understand because she and
Hmm.
Benedict did fuck. Like it would be weird to have her
Yeah.
here. But Penelope has a relationship with Madame Delacroix. So
Yes.
like she's like looked beyond the veil even
Yeah.
prior to getting married. So it doesn't, yeah, it's like, yeah.
It just didn't feel like if she was going to have that plot. I realized that that point was to then like really prompt her to retire and push back on this because she's feeling the weight. But like she ruined a woman's life.
Right, we don't get any follow-up. I wish we had gotten
No.
follow-up on
I need
Virginia, the
I
woman. Yeah.
need Bridgerton to make that okay. Like if everybody else gets to be okay, I need to make sure that that woman is
I
okay.
need Virginia to be okay.
Yes.
Like, yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. Yeah, because she has that she gives that whole monologue about like the reality of mistresses, which I was really glad that we got. She was like, I was planning on like putting aside a retirement fund. She's like, I
Yes.
know how this works. I wasn't stupid,
Exactly.
but like now I can't retire because
No.
you did this to me.
It reminds me a lot where I'm like, suddenly we veer into like Kerrigan Byrne territory where you have these women that are very aware of like the dangers of society
Hmm.
and navigating on the periphery. And I'm like, ooh, we're changing tones here. But, and I guess
Yeah.
it's to illustrate how far Sophie can fall in the
Yeah,
risk.
no,
But
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that plot, 90% of it is to like reflect Sophie Benedict, and then the 10% is
yeah.
like Penelope having to grapple with like the harm that she
Yes.
has the potential to do, and like the fact that she now has to face the harm. Because the thing
Hmm.
is, she's always done harm, but like now
Yes.
that like it comes to her house and yells at her, she's like, oh,
Oh.
oh yeah.
Oopsies. I thought I fixed this when I made up with Eloise and Marina still got married and,
Yeah.
wake of troubles. But to your point, though, bringing it back once again, subplot that was to support Sophie and Benedict,
Yes. Yes,
which
exactly.
is God bless.
Yes.
Okay,
But
so
so
Alice, oh, sorry.
Alice Mondrick across the hall. I actually didn't
Yeah,
notice that till my second rewatch. I must have been looking because it's like
yeah,
it's like
it's
3 seconds
quick.
on screen where she's like, "Oh, like they just went into that
Yeah,
room together." Because I was like, she has that interaction with Will where she's like, "Oh, like Nikki's probably run off somewhere with Gregory. I should go find
yeah.
him." And the first time I watched it, I was like, "Wait, why did we have that little scene?" Because like she just went
Yeah.
off and then there was nothing else. And then the second time I was like, "Oh, it's because it explains
Oh,
why she's
yes.
upstairs like looking for her son." Um but yeah, so she knows, but that added so much depth to the next episodes for me because I was like, to why Alice was like so determined to help.
Yeah.
Sophie and Benedict because like on one hand like I was already ready to accept it because like she's trying to get into the queen in with the queen, but
Hmm.
she also has that working class background, so she's like
Yeah.
already primed to be sympathetic to Sophie. But then this
Yep.
extra thing where she like saw them, I was like, "Oh, so you've been thinking
Yes. You
since that night. Like you've been plotting."
exactly. Well, and then she gets asked, she's smart because then she gets asked to like, do you think he's with anybody other than the lady in silver? Like, and she's like, no. Like she
Yeah.
knows that she needs to like give them air coverage for her to figure out her
Yeah.
plan, put it all together. The first time I watched that, I thought it meant that she had figured out the lady in silver and the maid were the same because she was like misunderstanding. She thought that Benedict had found
Mm,
her. I don't think that's the case. I think I was just
no.
like zonked when I was watching it.
I was confused by by her like no,
Yeah.
when she
No.
answered the queen because again because I didn't see that because I
Yes.
didn't catch that like
You're like,
brief
what game are you
hallway
playing?
scene. I was
Yes.
just like, why are you just feeling awkward that like you don't have an answer for the queen? Yeah, okay. That's
No,
on
it's
me. That's not on the show. That was
no,
on me.
exactly. This is where I'm like, this is Netflix sometimes does estimate my ability to pay attention correctly. Oops. Wait, which speaking of, when Sophie and Alfie run into each other in the market within the first few minutes of episode
I
5,
was so happy he was there.
I was like, Alfie, Sophie. And then she does the whole recap of the previous
Yeah.
4 episodes, and I was like, this is actually like a pretty clever
Yeah.
insert. This is funny. I
Yeah.
co-sign this. This is the one time that I'm okay with second screen culture.
Yes.
I love
Yeah,
him.
I was like, that's great. Yeah.
This was
As
so fun.
the more Alfie we get on screen,
Yes. We'll come back to. I can't wait to see what he does. I hope he appears in future seasons.
yeah, I hope he's like a Footman John where I hope we see more Footman John and like Hazel. Like I don't
Oh,
know if we'll see how much of the other classes we'll get to see,
I know.
particularly regardless of whether Eloise or Francesca are next season.
Yeah.
Those don't really take place at the Bridgerton home. So like are they gonna be able to interweave the plots as tightly as they did
This
this
is my
season?
question is with Lady Danbury going away and like visiting, the Queen now kind of being disconnected from like Whistle. I guess we'll get the Queen trying to figure out who the new Whistledown is as the plot
Yeah.
because she doesn't have
Yeah.
her friends there. I am curious about how, say, isolated those stories are going to be, and like,
Yeah.
will we move towards like a true focus on just the two main characters?
I don't know. I can't imagine. See, this was the one thing where I was like, oh, this is a good ensemble show. Like this
It
season is a good
really,
ensemble.
they hit their stride. They've like figured out how to do it well. Like, oh, Lady Featherington was excellent this season,
Hmm.
which is, I
With
hope we
her and
get her
Varley.
with her and
I
Varley.
would, okay, so that's one thing that I do. I felt like the stars of this season were the female friendships, and particularly
Yeah.
the like older female friendships. Lady
Mhm.
Danbury and the Queen,
Oh,
Varley and Portia, like
yeah.
even like Violet and Lady Danbury, Violet and
Mhm.
herself, like it
Yes.
felt so like that was honestly the emotional catharsis for me was like Lady Danbury and the
Same.
Queen like having their like last hurrah. And I
Oh,
loved that it was like older women. Like it's
older
like
women
celebrated older women.
and who are starting new stages of their life. Like, I like
Yeah.
that this is not like celebrating that we are in our golden ages. It is like Lady Danbury is about to go, and I guess Lady Danbury and Violet are about to go revisit their youths and like
Yeah.
figure out who are they now, separate from all of this.
Yes.
And I'm so excited that we get to see that and
Yes.
see that life does not end after you're happily ever after, that you like need to
Yes.
grow.
And that is something that I have seen someone, I've only seen like one person say this, but I
Uh,
could see it happening that they're setting up a spin-off
hmm.
for this similarly to way they did with Queen Charlotte, where it's
Yeah.
a young Lady Danbury, young Violet with also their like older counterparts, like dual timeline.
Ooh,
spinoff,
I would love.
like with Lady Danbury's adventures in Sierra
Hmm.
Leone, which I think that's
Yeah.
where she's from, and then like Violet. And there was also something with like the costuming, like Violet wears that like purple
Yes.
dress, that like gorgeous
Oh my
like
God. With the
purple like
silk
satin.
drapes.
Yeah, like
Yes.
incredible. But
So
someone
good.
pointed out that it's like then Lady Danbury wears a very similar
The
orange
shoulder tip.
dress.
Yes.
And like
It's
like
so,
Bridgerton being like intentional, like does tend to like signal things through
yes.
costumes. So like them having those similar things and also both like ending this season primed to like go on a journey of self-discovery
I
could be
would
them setting up
love.
another show. And there's been a lot of like vocal like demand for like
Yes.
more of young Charlotte, more I mean not Charlotte, more of young Violet, more
Yes.
of young Lady Danbury.
Well, and even, I mean, Julia Quinn did like Bridgerton prequel worlds. I mean, it was separate books, but like you see them.
Right. I don't know if you have Lady Danbury in
You don't have Lady
yours. You
Danbury in
have
those,
Violet.
but
Yeah.
you have Violet. But so it's like easy. It would be so easy to go back and see them become the women that they are and to see them before they had their families and before they had this position.
Hmm.
And I would love to see. I know part of it is Violet's love story with Edmund, which I think is important, but I think it's more about Violet being like her moment with Benedict. She was like, I was far more like you. I was carefree and fun, and I want to see that spark and then have it parallel with how she then handles her family. Is she like has less and less pressure on her to make sure everybody's
Yeah.
okay?
Right. Right. Like, yeah, she has like a duchess, a viscount, a dowager countess,
Yep.
like who can take care of the family if she can't do it.
Exactly. Like there's enough now. Everybody's settled emotionally for the most part. And then also like financially, like it's not all
Yeah.
on Anthony to take care of one another now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like Colin's got his rich wife.
Colin's got a rich
Benedict,
wife.
I guess, is doing painting. I did love
Yeah.
that it ended
Oh,
on the
that made me
painting.
cry. I gotta say,
I will say, I was like, why am I getting emotional?
it really seeing them surrounded by all of the people that they loved and this idea of like they ultimately did go create their own society, not society, but like they created their own world where they are just loved unconditionally. And somehow everybody got off of work to go do that. That was a separate question. They were like, what do you think they told Cressida to like let everybody go for a few days to this wedding? It just, it's time. It's time for Violet to focus on herself
Yeah.
and Lady
Yeah.
Danbury to go on this adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope they do a spinoff. I like again, like I haven't heard any like rumblings like I guess they don't need to really do like casting because they already have the younger counterparts. And like I
Exactly.
would be fine with them continuing to have those actresses.
Well, and I could also see, I know Bridgerton takes forever to
Yeah.
produce. So like it by the time it comes to Hyacinth and Gregory, they'll be grown up. But that also gives them more time for those actors to age up a little
Hmm.
bit because they're still
Hmm.
so young that like we need them to be a little bit older. I did hear a rumor, and I don't know how true this is, that seasons 5 and 6 might be filming in parallel.
That would be phenomenal.
It would
It'd
be
be so
amazing
much better.
if we can start to get on a better release schedule.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like I know that Netflix is like big on, polling and like that's why
Yeah.
everything takes so long, but it just feels unnecessary.
Unnecessary. And then if they're not filming like on their London sets for the most part, I can imagine they just want to like if they're gonna go remote.
But they also have like sound stages.
Oh
Now they've
yeah.
like made sound stages for so many of the things that used to be like on location. Like the
Oh
like Bath Crescent, they
yeah.
kept they show that scene and that used to be like on the Crescent in Bath, which listener for those of you who
Oh
don't know is like it's like a famous like you see something set in the Regency era, it's almost certainly part of it was filmed on that like
yes.
historic row of townhomes in Bath. But it looks slightly different. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen from like behind the scenes stuff that like they built their own
Oh. So they've
thing.
got everything ready to go. They just
Right.
Move faster, Netflix. You're gonna
Move
get
faster.
HBO is gonna eat your lunch if you don't start. If we get a pit season once a year,
It's not like they need to wait to be renewed, like, or
no,
wait to have the budget approved. Like, it's their
no.
headliner show.
Well, the point is like the next two seasons too, we already know who the leads are.
Yeah,
Like
right.
there's not,
You don't need to cast anyone.
we have Philip and we have Michaela.
Yeah. Because I saw like an interview. It might have been on like that podcast they do, which I've never listened to the full thing, but I've seen like clips from it, where the showrunners were talking about how like Garen Ha was like a last minute casting. They were like, we
Really?
had such trouble finding Sophie. They were like, we came close to casting like so many times, but like it just like wasn't right. And then like they were like, the minute we saw her like self tape, we were like, yeah. And then the minute she did like a Zoom intimacy read, like
Yeah.
afterward, Luke Thompson was like grinning ear to ear. Like they were like, everybody knows that
Oh,
like she was it. But
yeah.
apparently it took
A while.
like a little bit to like find
Which,
Sophie, which I'm
oh,
so glad they waited because
I'm
Erin
so
Hall's
glad they waited
amazing.
because she was the perfect Sophie. She was so strong and like witty and smart and like just
Yeah.
like warmth without being sappy. And then her chemistry with Luke was amazing. I
Yeah.
hope we still get a lot of Luke because I really love him. Like I like the big
Yeah.
brother energy that he brings.
I hope they especially because of that, he has a relationship, like an established seasons long
Yeah.
relationship with Eloise.
Yes.
And also they showed like they gave him like development with Francesca. So I
Mhm.
feel like, yeah, like he is the older brother. That's the thing is like Anthony is the father,
Yeah,
so he can't be
the older
the fun
brother.
older brother, but like
Mhm.
that's what Benedict is. Benedict is the like one who's like can be on their level.
And I think this was important. So the other thing that I found really interesting this season was even Anthony and Kate coming back was also a subplot that moved everything forward, not only to like push Benedict towards critical thinking, but they have the heir. And so Benedict now is like, he doesn't
Yeah.
have a written in stone role in the family anymore. And to
Hmm.
see him grapple with like, oh, I have to go be my own person now. What
Yeah.
does that look like? Was so wonderful. And I would love to see him then like firmly established as that older brother
Yeah.
and nothing has changed other than like he no
Yes.
longer needs to do the books. He doesn't have to worry about
Yeah.
copper mines anymore.
He's so glad to be done with that.
So
Oh
glad
no,
to
but
not
then
be.
he's arranging the Kilmartin estate like for Francesca. Like he takes that. It shows
Oh,
like okay,
yeah.
he's like I don't love doing this. I would prefer not to do this for the rest of my life, but he still will have to do that like with him and Sophie running a household, like he still
Exactly.
is gonna have to like
And he's competent. Like it's
yeah.
like he is, you see
Yeah.
him, is it episode 5 when he's making all of those decisions and he just like he knows what he needs to do.
Yeah.
It's not his
Yeah.
passion, but he's not gonna
Yeah, he
like
doesn't love
ruin
it,
the
but
family.
right, exactly. And like it's so interesting because like being the spare is something that like Benedict has been so vocally resentful of
Hmm.
like his whole character arc through all the seasons, but then as soon as he's no longer the spare, he's like
Yeah.
I don't know what I am
Yes.
anymore, he's like cut adrift. So it's like that like
Oh,
tension of like I never wanted this role, I don't want to be this role,
yep.
which has been set up since season one when Anthony was like, I'm gonna go die in this duel, take care of the
Yeah.
family, and take care of my mistress. And
He's like,
Benedict
there's
was
a
like,
woman,
what?
and yeah, and he's like, say what? That's so funny because I was rewatching season 1 this week
Yeah.
too. I was like, where did we start with him?
Yeah.
Seeing him be like Fozzie Bear freaked out. Incredible. Sorry, that's like
No, I love
the
that.
blubbery, like, yeah. Yeah.
He's like, wait, what? What's,
Say what
what's
again?
going on?
I'm still a little bit drunk. We're all at a
He's
party.
like,
Whoa. Oh, I'm so, you know what? Also, we know, and this, they do, I hope they do not stay true to Eloise's book. We can talk about the end. But he does play a role in that, like, he is the crash pad that the whole family lands on. They all go to my cottage because it's close to the Crane estate.
yes. And he Philip nurses their kid back to health, which
Yes.
is like shows that Philip is not a
A bad.
monster.
Yeah. I mean, which is where I am like, I now also trust Bridgerton to be, season two made me so mad, but I now trust them to rework some of my less favorite books.
Yeah. I was like, I have trust that Eloise might be
Saved.
in
Which
better hands.
we should talk about the theory that you shared about Eloise.
Yes. So I saw a video. I did cite the person. You know what? I'm gonna pull up. I was like, I wrote in my notes, but instead of doing that, I can just look at the DM that I sent Ellie.
Here we go.
It's an author named Cass Moran, and I saw a video that she posted that is the theory that Francesca and Michaela season will be next. And Eloise next season will be like a matchmaker, kind of like Emma Woodhouse figure. And like she brings up that like Eloise is reading Emma last season. Like she says it explicitly to Colin. Like she ends this season so much more open-minded about marriage. She's like, it's not for me, but like I see that it like gives women happiness and freedom to an extent. And so like her having this like matchmaker and then like arc next season and then like ending it
Mhm.
potentially like with like we end it with her running off to Sir Philip and like we start like maybe Philip Marina dies and Philip starts writing to her and is
Mhm.
like I want a match, make
Yeah,
whatever.
I can't parent my children. And like having
Right.
him say that outright might be fun.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm gonna need him to be like a more present father.
I
Like,
need him to be a more present father who is just like in over his head with two twins. Like it just play into you have two 6-year-olds who are going through big life changes and he doesn't know how to handle it.
I know it's like a Sound of Music retelling, but he's no Daddy Von Trapp. I can forgive a lot more of
Mm-hmm.
Captain Von Trapp than I can of Philip Crane.
Because at least like Captain Von Trapp was coming from like he felt deep grief about his wife.
hmm Yeah, whereas Philip is only like resentful, basically.
Yes, exactly. Like he resents Mar like it just doesn't work. And so I would love also I'd add not only is Eloise more open to like marriage as like a healthy thing for women to get out of poor family situations. You see that then with Posey at the end when she's watching Posey and encourages her to go
Yes.
talk to the guy that's interested
Right.
in her and you see her like warm up. And
Yes.
I think it would be such a fun arc for Eloise to like turn the corner we were talking about last
Yes.
episode from self-righteous
Yeah.
to open
Yeah, because
and
she's
helpful.
started. She's
She
turned like 10
started.
degrees. We just got to get her the other
I
80.
was not annoyed with her
No.
this episode set. But to her point, I would love to see her then like help women in some way. And so if this is the way, that's
hmm
great.
Yeah. Her being reunited with, so first of all, like Cressida appears and like the eagle screech of like, I was like,
Yes.
yes,
The bright pink eagle wing like sleeves that were
yeah,
going on. Oh,
obsessed. I was like, my girl is back. I'm so glad they brought her back because I thought that actress had said that she wasn't in
gonna
this
come.
season.
Oh,
So I'm so glad they brought her back. I'm so glad that I still think they were girlfriends. They were still absolutely girlfriends. But when her twink husband comes out, I'm
yeah.
like, this is a lavender
This is
marriage.
exactly.
Um, and then like the way she lights up when she sees
Yes.
Eloise, and then like she read Mary Wollstonecraft for
Yes.
Eloise, and that is like the thing that finally like rocks Eloise's foundation, where
Well,
she's like, oh my God, she was my friend.
yeah.
Like she listened to me when I talked and I was the worst to her and she
Yeah.
apologizes and like even though again like I know that Cressida's like bad TM, you know, she was a bully.
She was a bully. I do feel like she reckoned with her behavior though in a way that like other
Yeah.
characters might not have been. And I
And she was
also think
punished. Like I
she
feel
was
like she
punished.
got a punish. She was punished for her
She
behavior.
was sent off, and like also she had a horrible home environment. And so you also
Yeah.
understood why she was behaving the way that she was, even though it was unacceptable, inappropriate, and like
Hmm.
borderline abusive. She
Yeah.
was punished, sent away, and she's contrite. Like she
Yeah.
recognizes that she did wrong and still
Yeah.
wants to be a good friend. Like she's
Yeah.
looking for friendship.
Yeah. And Eloise recognizes that
Hmm.
when she's talking to Posey. She's like, I have a friend who has a similar mother. Although I did see some people saying that she was talking about Penelope and Portia, which I disagree. I read that as
No.
Cressida's and Araminta one.
Yeah, I read that as that. Like Portia is means well and loves her children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Poorly executed, but coming from a place of love. But I love the idea of Eloise being Emma and playing into
Yeah.
that. And that also then gives them room to shift Philip a little bit.
Yeah.
And like also we have not like the show has not acknowledged anything to do with Martina. Why do I keep saying Martina? Marina
Martina
yet.
McBride.
Martina McBride. They haven't acknowledged any changes with that. And so they need
No.
to set the stage. And I feel like next season would be so fun to just be in a bubble with Francesca and Michaela because
Hmm.
watching them become friends and understand each other, both like Michaela understanding the pressures that Francesca was putting on herself and was under, and
Hmm.
then Francesca recognizing that like Michaela needs to grieve a certain way as well, and that this really
Yeah.
impacts them. I just
And it all ties back to like their mutual love of John too, because I feel like
Mhm.
they are John for the other person. Like
Mhm.
Francesca is like the representation of his like quiet, like serious
Yeah.
side, and Michaela's the like bold, purposeful
Yes.
side, you know?
A strong sense of self.
Yeah.
And I think this is why I know people were concerned, the homophobes were concerned about John Erasure. And to that I say, fuck you.
We got a season and a half of John. Okay,
We got
let's
a season and a half
simmer
of John.
down.
That's a lot more of John than the book ever gave
We
us.
got
And
10 pages of John in the book. Like, let's,
we got John going up and saying, I'm going to take a nap, and then
yeah.
not. So all of this to say, like, I thought the show did a very good job of making it very clear that, like, Francesca and John were in love and had a wonderful relationship.
Hmm.
And that, like, this is the next, that doesn't negate anything. They can have this other great love that is also, like, built on a foundation of loving the same person and a mutual
Hmm.
understanding of how much that person was worth to one another.
Yeah, and we get that like the family jigsaws. Wait, the fact that Michaela was like, you have your housekeeper organize your jigsaws numerically. What could possibly be wrong with you? I was like, you didn't have to call her autistic to her face.
I loved that. I loved that. But I think it also a wonderful character development. B, showing that Michaela notices her. Like
Yeah.
whether she's annoyed by her or like has feelings for her, it's that like noticing that it was like, oh, this is a romance. And when they're in that den, whatever side room, and they're really talking for the first time, I was like, I
Yeah.
feel the chemistry. It is not like, but they did a good job of balancing it, where it's like chemistry is two
Mhm.
people, not as a romantic spark that will then
Yeah.
ignite later on. And I was like, they're so
Yeah.
good. I cannot wait to watch those two just
Yeah.
take off.
Yeah. But I think you also got the beginning of Michaela like grappling with the fact that she's like, oh fuck. Like
Hmm.
I was attracted to her at first, but I was able to push that aside because we were
Yeah.
different. But like now I see that we're not so different.
Yes, exactly.
And she runs away. I was like, I knew you were gonna do it, but why you gotta do my girlfriend dirty like
Right?
that?
Ugh. It's gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
The stag dance, I legitimately got teary-eyed. Like there has at no point in this entire show, any season, have I ever gotten like genuinely emotional. But I did it at the stag dance. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I was like, this is adorable.
It's adorable. I just love all of these people coming together to celebrate him and like it being a celebration and kind of breaking the rules of mourning, but
Hmm.
also getting a sense of who John was to Michaela. Because like we
Hmm.
see them interact and have this like deep friendship and they're always referencing their childhoods, but then you get this piece of like who they were together and
Hmm.
Fran being brought into it for the first time rather than like Fran being on
Hmm.
the outside of the memories.
Hmm.
And oh, I love it.
Yeah. Do you think that John knew that Michaela likes women or like
Yes.
suspected?
I
Yeah,
think he
because I do.
suspected.
Yeah.
I think it was like written in well. Like I think,
Yeah.
do you think he knew that Michaela was into Francesca?
I don't think so.
I think she hit it well.
And I think they kept it. I mean, that's what it is in the book too,
Hmm.
where we get no indication that John, it's not like Gorilla Twins,
No.
where
Yeah,
the
it's
first
like clear.
husband dies and is like, take her to Switzerland.
Figured Switzerland. I know you're
They
in love
spend
with
the whole
her.
book being like, what did he mean? Why did he bring
Why
up Switzerland?
Switzerland? It just take them like 300 pages to be like, oh, international marriage law.
And it's still another guy. It's like the old mentor has to be like, oh, yeah, you could just take her to Switzerland.
Yes. Oh yeah, the mad
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
yeah, Viscount. Yeah, they
Or
like they don't
Viscount,
even
whatever he is. Yes.
they don't even figure it out themselves.
I love. Oh, what a book. But this is okay. I really thought they did a good job of John then too, like protecting at Michaela's soiree when
Yeah.
Francesca is like, I'm gonna set her up with a man so I can get her out of my house. And John is like, no,
Hmm.
don't do that. And then he really holds her to it and is like, do not
Hmm.
do that again. That was inappropriate. I
Yeah.
appreciate that John really cares about people's comforts, but also recognize
Hmm.
that is what I was like, oh, he knows. And he respects it. And it's not
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
I'll get in on this.
Hmm. Yeah, that was there was one thing where I felt I was like it feels like John takes Michaela's side a little bit
Mm,
more, just
mhm.
specifically from like that scene because I think like that scene was good, but then like the beginning, like when they've stayed up till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and like Francesca, like Michaela's like trying to rearrange Francesca's like schedule, and eventually John, like when Francesca puts her
Yeah.
foot down, is like, no, we're not gonna like change things.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know, you let Michaela go on for longer than I wanted you to,
Yeah.
Johnny boy.
I think that's one where I was like, oh, you have a wife. Like this is fun times, but like you do have a household and a job and a partner that you need to go. Like and 4 a.m. is that's a that's a late night. That's not two.
Yeah. Although I will say, someone did point out that Francesca let Eloise crash her honeymoon. So,
That
you know,
piece. So both of them, but I will say, Francesca let Eloise crash her honeymoon. Michaela was there. Those two didn't know
hmm,
anything about like what marriage was or like sex, really.
right.
They were figuring it out. But then they figured it out, or they were figuring it out together. And that is also why the tension of like, come to bed. Hello, I am in bed.
She's like, I'm trying to orgasm and have a
Yes,
baby here,
I would like
please.
to, or yeah, I finally figured out what a pinnacle is. I would
I don't
like
know whether
another
she's
one.
reached it though.
I don't think she has, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Just in a, I think it'll be really interesting when they have her season and she reaches it.
I kind of hope she reaches it herself first.
Mhm. I think it would be interesting to have her have a journey of self-discovery first around like, who am I outside of my family? Which we kind of get in the book, where like the whole point was like she
Yeah.
doesn't always want to be around her family, and she is someone who's like a true introvert.
She does say that in the
Hmm.
show that she's like, I feel like I can't be my true self when I'm with my family all the time.
Yes. And so I'd love to see her get to like go be her true self.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing where I like don't want Michaela and Francesca to be next season because like I would like prefer for her to have a longer time to like grieve
Yeah.
John, but also like that journey of self-discovery. So like that's really my main qualm
Mm.
with like why I would prefer Eloise to be next season.
Mm. Well, they could still have the Emma plot after Eloise gets married. Like you could
Yeah.
the I mean that like it's not as progressive. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't build as nicely. I wonder if they'll do a time jump though. Regardless, I kind of feel like they
Yeah.
need to do a time jump
Hmm.
now.
Fran has to be out of mourning
Fran
for
has to be out of
sure.
mourning. I did find it I don't take historical accuracy on this show very seriously, but that everybody else was out of mourning right away was odd to me, except for Fran.
Though Fran's mourning looks were top tier.
That woman
Fucking
is
hell. I was like,
built for a veil. She
for like
looks
period
so
mourning.
period morning when she's in front of the mirror and she pulls that veil over her head.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she looks wonderful in black.
And that whole look, she was reminding me of someone that whole time. And I realized that she was reminding me a lot of that actress Mia something, who was like in Alice in Wonderland and Jane
Oh,
Eyre and Crimson
yeah.
Peak.
Yeah, Mia Wazowski or something like that.
Yeah, something. I realized that they look a lot alike, and now I want them to play
Yeah.
sisters in a period piece. That's all
She
I'm
is,
saying.
I was going to say, that actress is made for a period piece.
Yeah, yeah.
She could rip through it.
Anyway, that's my aside. That's my pitch. I'd like a period piece with those two like playing sisters.
It would be, I'm trying to think of what period piece are we ready to go back to if we're doing the Gothics? Like, we could do the third Bronte and do Tenant of Wildfell Hall. Just saying.
Mhm. We never get
Look,
adaptations of that one.
we never know. So bring back Bronte Fever. Someone do that one. We'll see. I'm trying to think if I had any other. Oh, Benedict coming out to Sophie. We
Yes. And
love.
Sophie's like ally.
Ally. Love. The world needs more love. I was like, it
Yeah,
does.
yeah, I did love that. That was really
I thought
sweet.
that was important. Otherwise, I did not understand why they were in that room. Like, I was just like bebopping through. I was like,
I was
okay,
like, oh, okay, an orangery. That's
archery.
cute, I guess. I don't know. He gives her like the painting, the
The
drawing of my
our
cottage.
our cottage.
Yeah.
Once again, my heart breaks. Wait, okay, one qualm I have is the morning after they make love, she doesn't get fully dressed or put her hair back up to go back to
Mm,
her room. And I was like, mm-mm. No, she
no,
would never
girl.
risk that. She's
No,
not doing
yeah.
the cute morning after. She is like, lace me up, Benedict.
Oh, one thing I did want to say, the episode after John's death, which is what is that episode 8? No, episode 7. They begin the episode after John's death with a bunch of bees. A bunch of bees everywhere.
What?
Like there's a bunch of
How did
like
I miss
little
this?
like they follow like a bee buzzing around and there's like bee imagery. Like they really emphasize the bee at the beginning of the episode after he dies. And I was like, that's
Oh,
diabolical.
that's crazy. I didn't catch that.
I was like, I get it. So, like,
RB means death. I like this idea of John being stung in his sleep, and that's really why you're rewriting it's not an aneurysm.
it's not an aneurysm, it's a pee.
It's a bee in winter fall.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I like saw that. I was like, are we really doing this right now?
If they do it again for Marina, that's when we really lose it.
She's not, yeah, I don't know. I guess she is, technically, she's a Bridgerton. She's more of a Bridgerton than John because she's like, or no, she's not because she's a Featherington
She's
in the books.
not. She's
I
a
mean, in the
Featherington in
show.
the books.
Spiritually, she's a Bridgerton. Oh, apparently that episode also has no musical covers, like no
Oh,
pop covers.
oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, that was like a choice that they made.
That's smart. I like that, especially like because Francesca loves to play piano, right?
Yeah,
It's she's always playing, and so to like have the music go out is
yeah. But then Benedict comes back and like he's playing,
he plays with her.
he plays a piano for
Oh,
her. And that's the music comes back. And then she laughs for the first time. And then she like makes up with Michaela. Yeah.
hmm. See, Benedict's older brother is just It really works. And I'm excited to see then too. And I guess this ties into like Sophie being that lady's maid and older sister to
Mhm.
Eloise and Hyacinth this season. Not older
Yeah.
sister truly, but that figure that they can look up to and admire.
Hmm.
I love them being like a center. If Anthony and Point have to be mother and father, these two get to be like a center of warmth. And then
Yeah.
Daphne's just somewhere having her like seventh confinement, I assume.
Yeah,
So
that's what I just assume that
I assume
Daphne
that
is
she's
constantly pregnant and that's why she can't come
yes.
to any of these events. Like,
Canonically, it's like actually kind of true though. Like I think it would be really funny if they just got a letter and be like, baby's healthy. See you guys
great.
soon.
There's another one.
So another one. What letter are we on to now? F.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
Let's talk about the final ball. One,
yeah.
okay, public proposals, at least for me, like are really cringe. But it
Yep.
made sense for Sophie and Benedict. Like it's like in terms of
Yeah.
like him like publicly,
Declaring his love for her.
yes. I was like,
Yeah.
fine.
It works. It felt a little non-special. Like I
Yeah.
wanted more of a moment then.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
get like by that point, like he basically already proposed.
yes.
Because he was like, we'll be bound to each other in all the ways that
Yeah.
count. And when he said that earlier, I was like, except legally,
Except
the most
legally,
important in this time period, the most
yes,
important way.
there's no recourse to safety or financial security or
Yeah.
property without it. So,
Anyway, I was like, well, but
mm,
yeah, we got the public proposal. The ring, they finally don't have like a seed pearl ring.
yeah.
And I think that's because they have the Pandora partnership. And I think it's easier to recreate the ring that they made for Sophie because it's like a jewel. That's my theory because the ring is very modern.
Ugh.
So my theory is like it's easier to do crossovers.
See, I hate that. I
Yeah,
hate that. I want like the catbird crossover. I want a dainty little seed pearl ring. But alas,
it's not
this is
happening
for a
because
specific demographic. Yeah,
they have the Pandora partnership, which was Eloise and Francesca, like who were
really.
like the models for that. So
I don't think I've looked at this at all. I need to go. Are they going to do Sophie's necklace?
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know whether they've actually like done jewelry from the I don't think they've actually done jewelry from the
Mm,
show. It's just like a Bridgerton inspired Pandora.
yeah.
But I was like, it's interesting that like 4 seasons in, we've decided to suddenly change the design of the ring when previously we
Yeah.
have been very historically accurate with like the type of like they all basically have the same
Mhm.
ring.
Which is kind of nice because the costumes then do all of the like heavy
Hmm.
modern fairy tale lifting to like have one piece of little tradition
Yeah.
in.
And Francesca's mourning, I will say, like the
Yeah.
fabric, the like
The
crepe
heavy crepe.
fabric and the
Hmm.
veil, like that was very historically
Period.
accurate.
Loved. Because I will say, the costumes were continue to just be like a lot for me, and Michaela's full sequin dresses at all times. I was like,
Insane.
who's in what world?
What are we doing? Listen, was she gorgeous?
She
Does that
looked
actress need to wear
stunning.
though that like color palette all the time, like
Oh, that
strong jewel
hot pink.
tones?
Oh, she looked incredible.
Gorgeous. I too would fold. I too would forget about my dead husband for that woman.
I would be like, I need to touch you. I need to touch you for the sequins, not because you
Yeah, of
look
course.
stunning and
Your
I want to
sequin out of
touch you.
place. Right over
Yeah,
your
there's the
boob, there's a
sequin
sequin
right,
out of
right
place.
there, right at your collarbone.
Yeah.
Oh,
The final, I will say Sophie's final look.
stunning.
Oh,
Yo, you didn't like it?
the wedding was fine. Not the wedding.
Oh,
Her ball look.
I thought you meant the wedding dress.
No,
Okay.
no, no. The
The
wedding dress was
blue.
gorgeous. Loved the wedding dress.
Yeah.
No, her final look at the ball
Mm,
was not it. Was possibly the worst she's looked all season. She's still gorgeous because Yaren Ha is gorgeous. It was
yes.
honestly, it was mostly the hair and makeup.
It was too done. Okay, my qualm with Bridgerton, sorry, I have this issue with many historical shows. Like, you know that like When Calls the Heart by Hallmark, the like weird Coal Town one?
I've seen like clips and trailers
Yeah.
of it. I've never actually
They
watched it.
have
Yeah.
like what I will call community theater production old-timey clothes.
Yeah.
But then they give them like full face of makeup and Mormon curls. And I am like, put your hair in a fucking bun. Not only is it not historically accurate, it's just not practical. And I feel
No.
this way with Bridgerton. Everybody's hair is always down. And I'm like, you guys are terrified of letting a woman look hot with her hair up. Put it into sport mode. Pile it up on top of their head. Like, I'm sick of the hair down thing.
The thing is that I would have loved if Sophie had at least some of her hair down for that final look because she has her hair up
So
the
severely.
whole so severely the whole
Yeah.
season, except for the funeral scene, which is when she looks the most ethereal
Yeah.
at at her father's funeral. But like they've done like that half up, half down, particularly for
Yeah.
balls. I just wish she had like at least some like loose something to show that she's not and just the fact that they were
Yeah.
like Sophie's glow up is now going to be like a full
Hmm.
face of makeup. It was just so
I
jarring
don't
to
love that.
me. Like I was so
Yeah.
distracted by the makeup and I just like I don't think it like and we've seen Yer Ha with a full face of makeup like at premieres, at press
Hmm.
events. You know what I mean? So it's not like
Yes.
I'm like, "Oh, I don't want her to be wearing a full face of makeup." Like if you're
No.
going to put a I just feel like they did a full face of makeup and then they did it poorly. Like at least all the
Yeah.
other full face that they've done in this
Was,
show was
yeah.
like good. Like they looked good.
It really, truly, it looked, I think my issue with it and with the dress was like it wasn't her. Like you pointed it
Yeah.
out. There was no character progression to this. It was just like they put some makeup on her and they gave her a pretty
Yeah.
dress. But also the pretty dress was Bridgerton blue, which I know is to like signify that she's joining the family, yada yada yada. But
Yes.
I'm like, who is she independent of being a
Who is
maid
she?
and not like before she enters all of this? What makes her feel
Yeah.
confident and strong and like ready to face this?
And I wonder whether we'll get that next season
I
because that
hope
was
so.
similar to what they've done for Kate, is Kate was still very English, very
Mhm.
Regency throughout her season.
Yeah.
And then we started to get like the sari inspired
Yep.
outfits. And
The
like I loved her
drapery.
outfit when she's having tea with them this
Yeah.
season. Like gorgeous,
It's
gorgeous
stunning.
dress, but sari inspired. So I've seen
But
some people being
yeah.
like, maybe, well, some people were like, I wish like Sophie was wearing like a, I think it's called a hanbok.
Oh
Like a
yeah.
Korean inspired like
Yeah.
dress. Like they were like, I wish we saw that. But then people were like, well, maybe, hopefully, similarly to Kate,
Yeah. She steps
she'll
into her own.
dress more like we'll get those that nods to her Korean heritage
Yeah. This
in
would be
future
great.
seasons.
Future seasons. I love this. Like, especially as they like go out to my cottage and they just like live their own. I'd like to think they go to my cottage and they don't stay in London, even though
Oh yeah.
they keep tipping these characters to like be like, but you love London. I'm like, do they? Mm. But I would love to see them like just fully in a world of their own creation. And like, what does their
Hmm.
taste look like together as a couple? What does she look like? But then, like, what does she look like loosened up? To your point, I love how you put
Yeah.
that of just
Yeah. I just wanted like a little, just the little curls
little
that would have been
bit.
even like Regency appropriate. The little,
Remember Daphne's horns?
yeah, her horns.
Her
At
horns.
least some horns.
Give her just like
Some little face framing
a
layers.
little
Like we're not
bang. Yeah.
right. Like we're not being historically accurate here. You could have done
Mm-mm.
like a little some wispy around the face, like show
No.
her. Yeah, I really feel like they dropped the ball on Sophie's final look.
What stood out to me about Sophie's final look was it also felt like we were firmly moving into the 1820s now. And
Hmm.
like fashion is Cressida has always been ahead of the fashion, but now I'm starting to see other women like wearing the big sleeves and like the
Yeah.
intricate hair, and it's giving Emma 2020 version in the
And
best way.
the waistlines have
Is
dropped
going,
a little bit. Like
yeah,
Sophie, I feel like that dress, like the waistline is
that
just a
dropped
little
it
bit
down to like a
lower.
little bit closer to the natural
Yeah.
waist, which again
Yeah.
was what was interesting then about Violet and Lady Danbury's like very well tailored, streamlined looks,
Very
perhaps like
modern. Like I could see like if someone wore that to like a modern wedding,
yes.
like absolutely.
And so I'm like liking that now play. Like as the rest of the ton is moving into new silhouettes. Like
Yeah.
they are too, but it's their own individual takes on like what
Yeah.
this should look like. Because it's again going back to season one, and I see like we are firmly in like the early to mid 1810s. And it's a
Yeah.
lot of fichus and like
Yeah.
all of that good stuff and
Yeah.
very high empire waists.
Yes. Sometimes too high. Sometimes like ill-fittingly high.
Yeah,
But
sometimes I'm
yeah.
like, you're just like
But I mean, that was the Empire. Like there were
that was the
like
look.
your nips are supposed to be on the verge of spilling out. Oh,
Yes.
you know. But then speaking of going back to something that I just thought of, like with Lady Danbury's and Violet's, with those like two dresses, the like orange and the purple one.
Yeah.
Um, they have that like those like two like ribbon cape like drape things in the
Yes.
back. Do you know what I'm talking about? And that felt very like I'm gonna butcher this French, the like robe anglaise or whatever.
Yes.
It felt 18th century. It felt
Yes.
18th century styles, which is
Exactly.
reminiscent of when they were young.
Exactly. And I think that is what felt, and I also think like the cleaner lines and like less adornment that you
Mhm.
were seeing like in the that period as well. And then even like early Regency,
Yeah.
just oh, I'm so excited to see what they do with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I really hope we get a spinoff.
I hope we get a spin-off. I hope Sophie gets better costumes. I like
I love that they danced to the night that we met. I love that that was in the instrumental. It was giving
yeah.
I don't know if you ever watched Rain, CW's Rain, like Mary Queen of
No.
Scots. That song, The Night That We Met, is like fandom wide, like associated with Mary and Francis from that
Oh,
show. And listener, like honestly, that show was ahead of its time. Like, if you don't give a shit about historical accuracy, like those bitches are wearing dresses like from like the prom store, like,
yeah.
but it's like so angsty. It's like such like an
It
angsty, like,
wasn't trying to be historical because I saw they were
no,
wearing like Ellie Saab. It was like
no.
high fashion.
Yeah, no. They were like fully, they did not give a shit in that show. And I stopped watching it because, spoiler alert for history, Francis dies. And that made me sad. So I stopped watching
Yeah,
it. But up
fair
until
enough.
that point, highly
It was
recommend like
great.
season like 1.5.
Oh, he dies early into that show
Well,
then.
there's only like 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, but they stretch out. I mean, they were only married for like 3 years. So like they really stretch out the time that she
Fair enough.
spends like with him in France.
Okay. Oh my God.
Anyway, Rain,
Love.
the night that we
Okay.
met,
Is their song.
is like Mary and Francis's song. Like that's I think
Oh.
it's like in the pilot. Like it's played
Oh.
and they like look at each other and there's like for some reason like feathers raining from the
Oh
ceiling
yeah.
at like a ball or something. Like it's yeah.
Oh, I just felt like it was just so deeply romantic and yearny that
Yeah.
it felt right. And it felt fairy tale-ish. Because I
Mm-hmm.
have to say, the season's needle drops were excellent. 360 Party Girl was my
The middle
favorite.
school dance. Wait, we gotta
For
talk
the
about the
middle
middle
school
school
dance,
dance.
I thought it was like a funny sartorial, like wonderful choice of like
Oh
Hyacinth wants
my
to be like having, she doesn't see this as like getting married. She wants to like party and have fun and like get out there. And I was like, this is great. I love
yeah, like she wants to be grown up. It's like play acting at, but then like the middle school boys can't get her lemonade.
it. Yeah, and they're stomping on her foot and like dragging her in the wrong direction. We
Yeah.
ride it down for Hyacinth getting
Although
lemonade.
canonically, Hyacinth is a bad dancer. So maybe it wasn't
Oh
all the middle school
yeah.
boys' fault. Canonically, Hyacinth is very clumsy and doesn't know it.
Well, that also then like remember because she then goes the wrong direction and that's her own
Yeah.
fault. Yeah. So I
So that
love
was
this.
cute. Yeah. And then you get the Hyacinth, the like Benedict Hyacinth older brother like dance moment.
Oh, it was so sweet. See, once again, supports the plot. And then he goes and bangs the love of his life
Yeah.
upstairs. And
And
the
he
kids could all
gets
hear.
and there's like a moment before he dances with Hyacinth where like the dance instructor is like, and then we all bow to each other, and he like
Mhm.
looks at Sophie and he like does a little bow,
Ugh.
like
That, and then later on when he walks up to her and is doing workplace harassment, and she's like, "Do you need something? Or can I help you find something?" And he's like, "I already found it." And I was like, "Oh,
and
the
she's like, leave me the
delivery."
fuck alone.
Like, please, I'm dealing with Araminta ruining my life right now. Well, I guess she
She's
doesn't know
like,
it at that
I don't
minute.
think you understand. Yeah, like my evil
Yes,
stepmother has just moved in next. I've just found out my evil stepmother's moved in next
next
door.
door.
But then when Violet, okay, this was something that pissed me off. When Benedict's gonna go off after Sophie, when
Yeah.
she finds out about Araminta,
Oh, yeah.
and Violet is like, leave her alone.
Yeah.
And Benedict is like, well, what are you doing fucking Lord Anderson with like and he never apologizes for that.
He never apologizes. He is like, and when then he goes on to ignore and avoid his family and his mother for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, so you can come to Cressida's ball, but you can't talk to me for 2 weeks?" And he's like, "Oh, I missed my family." And she's like,
But also,
yeah,
like, from a historical perspective, like Violet being a respectable widow,
yes,
banging another widower, like as long as like not flaunting it in
no,
public, but like doing that on the side was perfectly acceptable. Like nobody would have batted an eye.
no, and they've been incredibly discreet, and
Hmm.
she is like doing it in a very respectful way to the young children.
Yeah, he's like with your children down the hall, and then he fucking fucks
Then he
Sophie
does
with the
it
middle
while
school
the
dance downstairs with other
downstairs.
people's children downstairs.
Disappearing on his sister on a night that really matters. Like that's the
Yeah.
piece where I'm like, dude, hold it together.
Yeah, at least he was there for like the like
The
father-daughter
important
dance
part.
portion or
Exactly.
whatever. And then I also think they did a good job in terms of Hyacinth
Hmm.
and finding like a character niche for her because
Hmm.
like it seemed like kind of like all the other girl siblings had kind of taken up like found their niches, like
Yeah.
whatever. So like Hyacinth having this balance of like I'm excited, but like I also want to be independent, like
Yes. I'm excited. I want to be independent. And then also reckoning with like what the things that she wants can lead to. Like when John dies and
Mhm.
there's a heartbreaking scene where
Yeah.
she's like throwing everything away because she doesn't want to open herself up to that risk.
Yeah.
And she's just like coming into adulthood in such a
Yeah. But then Eloise being the one to be like, hey, like
Mhm.
sometimes it's worth it. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
like no matter who, like you can't stop yourself from caring about
no.
people in whatever sense. So like sometimes you just gotta take the risk. And that was
Oh,
like again, like Eloise, like I was like, damn, okay, finally
yes.
something sunk in.
Yes. It's watching these things click for Eloise in a way that makes me excited to spend a season with her, whereas
Yeah.
4 episodes ago, I was like, get this woman off my screen.
Yeah.
Not her fault.
I
Yeah.
trust Jess Bromwell a lot
Yeah.
more after this season.
Yeah.
I did
She
not
really is
trust
to
her after
trust.
last season.
No. And I honestly wonder if last season was a case of she had been written into a corner,
Hmm.
like inheriting the transition from season 2 into season 3.
Hmm.
They had decided to do that story. They had set up Lady Whistledown in a very specific way. There were a lot of plot
Hmm.
lines that were like roads to nowhere that I think she like
Hmm.
tied up and
Hmm.
got it back into a tight focus while
Yeah.
maintaining the spirit of an ensemble show where I'm like, okay, this felt like her season rather than like the hybrid Chris Van Dusen, Jess
Yeah.
Bromwell.
I do feel like this season, in some ways, like Francesca felt like the female lead more
Yeah.
than Sophie did. Like it was Benedict and Francesca. And I mean, you can make an argument that the show is called Bridgerton. And
But
so, like,
I don't think that should be allowed though. Like I
yeah,
think that it's Bridgerton in that like it is a family ensemble. They're all in each
yeah,
other's lives. Each Bridgerton gets a like and it's not a true anthology, but they each get their
yeah.
own focus. I will also say I was going insane. The sound mixing on this was crazy because Yaron Ha's voice was very soft and everybody else's was
Mm,
like very projected. And I was like, did they mic her up wrong or something? Or is it the sound mixing? Because I had to keep turning up my volume to hear her.
yeah. Netflix in general is just horrible with sound mixing. Like
Horrible sound
it's all
mixing.
over the place.
World's tiniest violin for me is that I watch with subtitles. But to the point
Oh
about
yeah, I'm always watching with subtitles.
always with subtitles.
It initially, the version that I was watching, sorry, it had like the Italian dub was turned on.
Oh,
And so they started talking. I was like, can I just not
how did we
hear
get
or is
here?
this not English?
There we go. That's always
Like,
where I'm like, am I?
which one is this? Because I had the English subtitles were on, but it was like
Oh,
the Italian dub.
oops. I This is okay. Going back, the last point I'll make about this is going back to was it Francesca's season or Sophie's? I think the back half of the season was Francesca's, but the front half was Sophie's, and this is why I have an issue with the two batch release. Like
Oh,
if you had done it all in one go, it would have felt a lot more fluid.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest, before I watch this second half of the season, like I was not excited to
Hmm.
start the season. Like there is a very strong possibility that I would have taken me like if had we not scheduled to record this episode,
Yeah.
that I would not have watched it. And like I'm saying this as someone who enjoyed the first half, and I also enjoyed the second half.
What was causing you to be like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like,
I think I was just like not feeling motivated to watch
mm,
it, and I think part of that has to do with the two-part release. Like it
yeah,
was just too long and yeah, it was there was just like too
yeah,
long a break between the two. Like I think if they want to do a staggered release, just like do it weekly. You know what I mean? Like other streamers have done that. Just do it weekly.
do it weekly. Then it's like then it's appointment viewing and people are talking about it and you can still do if the point for the two-part release is that they want to time brand deals with it
And keep 2 months of Netflix subscriptions.
and keep 2 months of
Yeah.
Netflix subscriptions, then releasing weekly gets people
Yeah.
bought in for almost you could time it then and be really evil and do it over 3 months. Start it in the middle of one
Yeah.
month and have it
Yeah.
carry over.
Right. You have 8 episodes.
Eight
Yeah.
weeks. You could be really, really cruel and unusual on that
Yeah.
one.
Or go back to the fucking Netflix model
Yeah.
and drop it all so people binge it. Like,
Yeah. And then binge drop them more frequently.
right.
Like it's, I think the other part of the momentum is like, I think the reason why that break in between felt extra long is because we waited so
Hmm.
long for this season. And so it's like
Hmm.
you can't even give it to us all at once. We waited like 2 years for
Hmm.
this.
Right.
And we're
Right.
gonna wait another 2 years. Like I think we're all primed to know that like we're not getting another one until 2020.
Yeah, 2028. I don't know. Maybe 2027, I guess, because they finished filming
Oh, you're
the
right,
last one last
2027.
summer. I think they're like about to start filming. I feel like I saw that somewhere.
That's still crazy. This started in what, 2020?
2020. 2020. It was December, Christmas 2020, because we were all
Yeah,
at home.
we gotta like pick it up. Well, I guess we've gotten like, if you include Queen Charlotte, and we've done 4 seasons of Bridgerton, I guess that's like 5 seasons of Bridgerton released over
Yeah. Well, but I think the delay is the fact that like Queen Charlotte had a different
production.
showrunner, I think, or whatever,
Yeah,
different production team. So they could make those simultaneously.
yeah.
The problem is that they just take so long to make each season of Bridgerton.
Just, I really wonder if there's merit to filming both at once.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like a cost efficiency there. I don't know anything about
I mean, there
production.
absolutely is a cost efficiency. That's why like Lord of the Rings trilogy filmed at
Yeah.
once. Like all at once. They filmed all
Oh,
three movies at once.
I
They
had
took like a
no
year and a
idea.
half to film all three movies because it's
Yeah.
way cheaper. And the
Mm,
same thing with like Heated Rivalry. They did
hmm.
they filmed out of order and filmed every scene at every at like the one
Yeah.
location before they moved on to the next one because yeah, because it's more efficient to
It's
do.
more efficient. And I suppose with an ensemble show like this too, and now they know that it's hard to get everybody scheduled, if you need people to be involved in each other's
Hmm.
shows, and it's getting increasingly hard, it would be a lot easier to get everybody like in on the same week,
Hmm.
block that off
Yeah.
well in advance,
Yeah.
move forward.
I'm sure it also doesn't help that they also have to have like a ton of extras
Ton of extras.
because they have so many balls.
So many, and the costuming on this is insane that I can
Hmm.
imagine like it takes a lot of time to produce, source, fit,
Hmm.
style.
Although they are definitely reusing, like they've definitely
Yeah,
now built up a base. Like for the men, I feel like
that's got
they're
to be
fine. Like they don't got
easy.
to make new costumes for
No.
them.
And I'm sure for the women, they remix them.
Yeah, and I know like I other more eagle-eyed viewers I've seen have pointed out that like there are extras like you can see that like dresses from previous seasons that like the leads wore are being like worn I guess for like refitted or like slightly altered for extras in the background, which makes sense.
Makes total sense. And again, back to the point that the next two seasons are not set in London. You can get away
Hmm.
with a lot fewer extras. There's not like a lot of ball scenes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll see. I really struggle with like whether they're going to stick to the books. You know what I mean? Like this season was very accurate to the books, and I think part of that was helped by the fact that it takes place almost entire like the bulk of it takes place in London, so it's a lot easier to like weave in that ensemble cast.
yeah,
Whereas they have to still include the ensemble cast. And Francesca and Eloise's books are very isolated. They don't even have like Violet really.
no,
So, I mean, like Violet like pops up for Eloise's wedding, but like that's it. Like,
she's not really in it.
so,
Yeah. I could see the case for Francesca and Michaela staying in London and not going back to Scotland and wanting to like forge their own path.
and there was also if they're keeping my cottage being close to Sir Philip's place. Sir
Yeah.
Philip's place is also really close to Aubrey Hall in the context of the show. I don't think it
Mhm.
is in the book, but in the show, it's close to Aubrey Hall because Colin makes a stop there.
Yep.
So if they're all like
Kind of in the
within
same
an
neighborhood.
area,
Yeah.
and Benedict and Sophie make it to London from my cottage in like a night
Yes.
or like in a day, like they don't
Which is
stay
why I
over.
was like, Aubrey Hall also famously is like not that far from London.
Yeah, it's in like Kent or something, which is like
Yeah.
right next door.
So they could
So
all,
if they're all in the same place, then if you're having it take place at Sir Philip's, it's much easier for them to be like visiting Aubrey Hall,
yes.
you know.
You could have a whole thing too. And I know they did this, I think, in Kate and Anthony season where it's like it's a house party and
Hmm.
you could just be like, they're having the season, like the Featheringtons are coming and
Right, they're
so and
invited.
so is coming. They're invited, like we're doing a
Yeah.
whole setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eloise can do her matchmaking within that house party then. Like
Yeah,
it
or
could be
some
set up
yeah,
with
I
that.
don't know, something.
Yeah. Anyways, this is where I go back to I would like to write this show. I would like to be hired as a writer.
If anyone would like to hire me,
I have a lot of ideas. I can't write dialogue. I can't
I'm
really write,
available
but I'm there.
as a story editor. You could do
I'm a
story
story
editing.
editor.
Right.
Yes, this is my dream
Yes.
job.
Yes. I can
Oh,
attest. Elodie is great at story.
you're great at writing the actual stories.
I'm
I'm waiting for your
Elodie
book.
is an excellent editor. Jess Bromwell, hire
That's
her.
all. Hire me. I love what you're doing.
Oh, I also love that the Queen did like the diamond chin tip. I thought that was a nice
Oh,
callback to Sophie, like at the end. Like she's like, you would have made a wonderful diamond.
yeah. It just like I love too that it brought it back to she's a part of society. Like she's been, she just missed out. I'm not really
Yeah.
going anywhere at this point other than when I loved
Oh,
it. I
I
loved her
loved it.
mirth and joy and the
Yeah.
humor that she found in it.
Yeah, I love the Queen was like, you guys Like, she's
The
like, "Do you think I'm
audacity.
stupid?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Are you kidding?" But she's like, honestly, like, this is hilarious. And all she
Yes.
wants to be from the very first, from the trailer of season one,
Yes.
she wishes to be entertained. That's
Yes.
it.
And after a really heavy season for her, where like she's losing her best friend to
Yeah.
go on a trip and her husband is very ill and she's feeling very like alone,
And she's losing Whistledown, which,
losing Whistle
as
down
Eloise points out and Alice Mondrick points out, is her connection
to the
to
world.
the
Oh, I
outside world.
love that
Yeah.
tie-in. But I thought it was wonderful for her to be a part of it. And she was brought into, which I guess is what Alice put her finger on. It's not just like you are missing out on all of the good gossip. Alice put her finger on, I am bringing you directly into the gossip.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
don't need to rely on like a gossip sheet
Right. You don't, this doesn't need to be brought to you. Like, I will bring it, everything
to
to you.
you.
You're not getting it
Exactly.
secondhand. You're going to get it
No,
and you're going to know details that,
no one else knows. You get to be the one keeping the secret. You are the
right.
Lady Whistledown, which is what she's
Right.
always wanted. She wanted the power
Yeah.
and the like
Yeah.
intrigue.
Yeah.
She wants the intimacy. I guess
Yeah.
no one gives her their secrets except for like
Yeah.
Lady Danbury.
Right. And
So,
hopefully, I guess Alice.
and Alice.
And Will being like a like the boxing
Oh, I
thing
loved that.
was so cute. I was like, and finally we get an acknowledgement that Will's a boxer. I feel like
Yes,
we forgot about that.
we
But
have
I loved the
forgotten.
callback. He was like, let's like spar. And she like punches. Yeah.
I loved them. I'm excited to see them next season. And
Yeah.
I had coming into the season was like,
Why are they still here?
why are they still here? The last piece too on character callouts that I loved. I loved Colin's brother-in-law dining club with the
Oh,
import.
yes.
Big fan.
The imported Jesus.
Big
I was
fan.
like,
I was like, I would like to join.
yes. I was like, can I? I'm not a brother-in-law, but can I be an honorary brother-in-law?
Yes. But I love this idea of like Colin being a part of both families, along with like
Yeah.
them just being silly.
Yeah, like he's like they're his like cute little golden retriever husband. They're like a little like
Yes,
a wolf pack of golden retrievers.
exactly.
It's so cute.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
adorable. I love it. Oh,
I also loved Ben and Sophie dancing at the end after the
mm,
night that we met when
yeah.
they're dancing in the gazebo. Is the
Yes.
same song, I think that like Daphne and Simon, like the
Oh,
reunification song is what I called it. Like it's
yeah.
the same like musical interlude
Theme.
that they're
Oh,
playing. Yeah, like theme. And I really liked that tie-in.
I love that. Oh, I'm so glad you caught that. It was high romance. They
Yeah.
really, I'm glad we got that private moment and the callback then to the beginning, and we closed the
Hmm.
loop of like she is both the lady in silver and Sophie.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting because Fran and John's scene out on somebody's veranda watching the moon was
Cressida's.
also like a nice
Yeah.
tie-in. Yes, at Cressida's. Watching the moon was also a nice tie-in of like this intimacy and this like
Yeah. Because it's
solidity.
how they met.
It's
Right?
how
Like
they
Fran goes
met.
out to get some air and then like John's like
Yeah.
there and he's like, "Oh, I'll leave." But she's like, "No, you can stay," you know?
I just
They just look at the moon and they're just quiet together. Yeah.
quiet together.
And he brings her out there. He's like, "I know that
Yes,
you've been very stressed and you've been
you
very
need this.
overwhelmed. So we're just gonna like
Yeah.
take a moment to like recalibrate."
And that's partnership and love and
Yeah.
knowing your partner. Ugh, I love love. I love love.
And I saw behind the scenes where like he's on the bed, like pretending to be dead.
Yeah.
And they were just like fucking around, like the two like actors. It's like he's like, I
Oh, I need
carried
to
this
see this.
scene, obviously.
Obviously,
I carried the scene.
he did very good
Yes, pretending to be dead.
pretending to be dead.
But
It's
yeah.
gotta be hard to like not let any emotion show on your face as someone around you is showing like high emotion.
Well, I will say that they didn't show his face. Like I think that was an intentional, they
Yeah,
really barely showed they like showed like the outline of his chest while she's like leaning over him, but otherwise like they didn't show John's dead body, which I
appreciate.
felt was very like respectful, yeah.
Yeah. and lets the focus be on the grief and
Yeah.
it's a shock.
Yeah.
And I loved the funeral scene with Benedict doing the um
Yeah.
what is the word that I'm
The
thinking of?
speech, the
There
eulogy.
we go. Eulogy. There we go. I was gonna say the obituary
Eulogy.
and I was like, nope, not
No.
right. Um,
Penn did the obituary.
Penn did the obituary, I'm sure. Had Lady Whistledown ended by then? Yes.
Yes, she'd already officially retired. Just one more gripe was I know probably why Johnny and Simone, like Kate and Anthony, weren't at the funeral scene, but I was like, they were in London. We didn't get
Yeah.
any indication that they left. So why didn't
No.
they come?
Also, canonically, Aubrey Hall, going back to our earlier point, Aubrey Hall,
Right.
very close to London, could have driven there in time for a
No.
funeral.
And like they do have that line from I think John's mom where she's like, it was
Mhm.
all because it was so sudden, like even relatives from Scotland couldn't come, which is like
Mhm.
historically accurate. Like that is
Yeah,
frequently what funerals had. Like it was very rare for like most of the family. But
everybody.
I was like, okay, but Kate and Anthony were in London.
They
We
were
did see
there.
them in London like a week ago. And it
Yes.
doesn't make sense that they would like have gone back to Aubrey
Not.
Hall so
And then
quickly.
it wouldn't have made sense for them to not be then at Francesca's gathering and life celebration
Yeah,
because theoretically there would have been enough
time.
heads
Yeah.
up. Which is why
Yeah.
I was like, what was the scheduling happening that they couldn't have those guys all come in at the same? I guess it
I
was
don't
really
know.
like Johnny and Simone could do one scene where they were both available. And then I guess the other times, like Simone was at the family, Johnny wasn't there. It wasn't like filmed in the same way.
Yeah.
And the one where
And
Johnny was there with the family, but she wasn't there.
yeah, Johnny's with the brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny was in Oz. That was it.
Johnny was in Oz, but
Where was Anthony? He was in Oz.
he was cutting up a rug.
Like, I'm sorry. He was dancing through life.
He was
That's where he
dancing through
was.
life. There we go. Turns out Anthony's a very good dancer.
Turns out, shocking.
Well, isn't there a whole subplot where like Kate decides to learn an instrument and like
Yes, and she's
he
very
tries to learn
bad.
which is very bad, but I would love to see them learn how to dance as a couple and like
Yeah.
really get creative and have that show
Like
up.
Boogie. Yeah.
Or like they're inventing new ways of
They invent the jitterbug.
exactly. They're ahead of their time. Okay, but
Phenomenal.
going back to
Okay.
who is the new Lady Whistledown.
I don't know. Okay.
Okay. I've seen a theory it's Varley because the accent slips.
Yes. So I watched it the first time, didn't
Yeah.
really notice the accent slip, saw people talking about it, was like, all right, guys, like it's not that
Hmm.
different. Spent 80% of the final whistle down monologue being like, okay, guys, you're being silly. And then like the
Hmm.
last line, the Eliza Doolittle,
Yes.
accent comes out. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that would make much more sense, particularly in terms of how we've been grappling with how Whistledown causes harm
Yeah.
and how, so when it's like a member of the upper class causing harm, particularly to people like Virginia, the mistress, then you're like, mm. But when it's like a member of like the lower class doing it, A, they're much more nuanced in their take, and B, like
Hmm.
it's punching up.
It's punching up. It's a way to like build power. We also know like it's a way to actually earn money and like move yourself up and out.
Hmm.
And we have the line when Portia and Penn are talking, and Portia's like, "You don't have the good gossip." Like Varley always had the best gossip.
Yeah.
And I think that's the tea in for me, where it's like it lets them keep the lower class or like the like downstairs timelines and storylines going then, because it would be the network of gossip from
Yeah.
the servants rather than in the edge of the ballroom.
I will be honest, I don't know how much I believe that it's Varley
Hmm.
simply because going back to her like her reunification with Portia, she has the whole Portia's like, didn't we both make fun of Penelope for reading all the
Yeah,
time?
that's
I've been
true.
like Varley is not like a wordsmith. Like she doesn't she's not literary. She doesn't care about that. My theory, well, first I was like Footman John. But I don't think
Oh,
it's Footman John. He's too busy being a slut. And him and Hazel, in my mind, are
they're
gonna
in
live
love.
happily ever after.
Yes, I like to think that they like go buy a farm somewhere and just
Yeah.
live a
Or maybe
lovely
they just
life.
get married and they continue working as and she eventually becomes a housekeeper and he becomes the
Oh
butler.
yeah, there we go.
That'd be
They
very
could take
cute.
over for the Crabtrees when the Crabtrees decide to
Yeah.
retire.
Always thinking.
I just want more Footman. It's purely because I loved those two actors and I want more
Yeah.
of them on my screen.
Yeah. Footman John. I also saw like Alice, like it could be Alice Mondrick, and that's a way to
Oh,
keep the Mondrick storyline relevant. And she has that like bridge of like lower
he
class,
does have
working
a
class.
bridge, but I think she's forging her own path forward. And so,
Mm.
like, this idea of her picking up someone else's mantle feels less
Yeah. Yeah,
accurate.
that's true.
But I could see her being like, okay, I'm going to use this. We're going in a new direction.
And this is how I keep the queen
And this is how I
happy.
keep the queen. Like, maybe it's a bit in between her and the queen, and like they're hatching it
Yeah,
together.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Because they say something along the lines of this is like the when the voice slips, it's like this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I was like, who
Yeah.
would approach it with glee and like a sense of
Yeah.
fun?
Yeah. I really hope it's not Hyacinth because I've
No.
seen people wanting it to be Hyacinth. I really don't want it to be.
I also don't think that she could. The whole point was like
Yeah.
Penelope could because she was on the edge of the ballroom.
Yeah. Well, people were seeing it as Hyacinth learned how you can be invisible as a maid. She goes to
Oh,
Cressida's ball.
yeah.
So there's like that element, like, oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I hope it's not Hyacinth.
I hope
I think that'd
not.
be supremely uninteresting. But I am glad they brought Whistledown back. I think they made
Yeah.
like a grave like I on one hand, like I think it was a mistake to reveal her so early. On the other hand, I understand why they did because the book readers all would have spoiled, you know what I mean? Like there's no keeping
Yeah.
that secret. You also do contend with the fact that she's revealed halfway through the series, and the latter four books do not have Whistledown as framing. And while you can do that in a book series,
You
and
can't
they
do
have
that.
other like framing things, like they have like there's
Hmm.
like epistolary elements and like other stuff that like frame it instead of Whistledown. But yeah, you can't do that in a show. It's like if Grey's Anatomy like suddenly stopped having narration, you
Yes,
know, at
that's
season
exactly
five.
it. Like it is like the thing that has taught us how to navigate their world.
Yeah.
And so I wonder who, and this is morbid. I saw someone make the point that having Whistledown now switch and the ability to move into a different accent gives them coverage because
Yes.
she is 90 years old, which blew me over. I thought she was a solid 75.
Yeah, I did not think Julie Andrews was that old. I mean,
No.
hope springs eternal that Julie Andrews lives forever.
Hmm.
I know that they've been in talks for Princess Diaries 3, but like she's got enough verve to do
Yes,
that.
she wants to do it. And Dick Van Dyke is kicking and
Yeah,
he's
that's
like
what I'm saying.
100.
Like Dick Van Dyke is doing fucking Pilates like in his room. Like I can absolutely Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, I feel
Could
like
have.
do like Zoom workout sessions
Yes, I'm
together.
sure they like have the same trainer.
I hope so. Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, I saw that as like a that's why that's another reason they revealed Whistledown so early was so that they would be
Mm,
able to swap her out with like
if
Nicola
yeah, if they
if
needed to.
needed. Yeah.
I still think the show could have revealed to the viewer that it was Lady Whistledown without it like people discovering her or going on the hunt the
Yeah.
way that they did.
I will say like you don't get like they have to do it with Penelope and
Yeah.
Colin's story. You know what I mean? Like you like
Yeah.
their character arcs don't really make sense without
Without
Whistledown
it.
becoming public.
Yeah.
Obviously, they chose to do that even earlier than when it's done in the books, but like
Hmm.
they're following the book's timeline in terms of
Yeah.
like Penelope being done
They just,
by
yeah.
this point. So,
So we'll see. I'm so curious the direction they go with this. This will be fun. I wonder if they decide to keep it like a real secret and give viewers
I
like a
hope
real.
so. I hope that it's not something that's I hope that it's something revealed in the last season. Maybe is it someone that we haven't met yet?
Oh, that could be
Is this
fun.
the way they incorporate, someone,
Down
one
the
of the
line.
other love interests,
Oh, that could be fun.
like Lucy or whatever?
Yeah. I'm interested to see where they're going with this one. This will be fun.
I did love that the Penwood girls, like the as a second language speaker, like
Yeah.
them walking in and dissing the decor in Cantonese.
Yeah.
And then like the switch to English when Posey's like, I like the pink. I was
Yeah.
like, very relatable.
I
Like that's
love
absolutely what you do. You shit talk in the other language and then you switch back.
bring it right back around. Oh, and I loved their relationship as sisters. Like when they went to go visit the Bridgertons and they
Yeah.
were just being nasty to each other. Well, no,
Yeah.
Rosamond was being nasty to Posey on the couch, and then Eloise and Hyacinth are watching, like, oh my
They're
God,
like,
what
Eloise
is
is
this?
like, we could be like that, Hyacinth.
Yes, it
Like,
could be
remember.
so much worse.
But then at the end, like Rosamund, like they do have this brief moment of unity in which Posey's like, no, my dowry's 18,000. What's yours?
Yeah.
And Rosamund's like, it's 36. Which, first of all,
It
18,000 dowry is like $2 million. That's not low. A fortune hunter would love that.
was a high dowry. And I loved Rosamond breaking at the end and being like, did you not think I could do it on my own? Like,
Yeah.
do you not think I'm worth it?
Yeah. And then she switches, and then she kind of like pulls herself together and is like, you know what? I'm tired of talking about Sophie. You know what I mean? But I think there is an element of vulnerability and truth about it. She's like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fucking tired of you obsessing over this girl who's never actually
Yes.
done anything to me
No.
or either of us. I do think that they were like, when Posey was like, Sophie was never a threat to us.
He was.
I'm like, listen, Araminta had some valid points. She was
Yeah.
horrible, but she was
Monster.
not irrational. Like totally
She knew
irrational.
she was not wrong about the risks that were posed.
Yeah.
She was a monster, and if she could, there were creative solutions around that.
Yes.
Because they like send the kid off to a monastery or like turn her into a governess. Like they
Or again,
really,
pass her off as the relation.
yeah, pass her off as a relation is really the thing that she should have done to really make sure that her daughters were never at risk.
They have the the guns have the Korean heritage. You can be like, she's a cousin. I have a
Yeah.
cousin back in Korea who had a
Hmm.
kid and he and the cousin died
And we've inherited
and
this
now
ward.
I'm inheriting this ward.
Yep.
And no one's going to question that.
No one's going to question it.
But then it all goes back again, it goes back to Lord Penwood
Lord Penwood
not
is the one that just
not doing
never
anything,
protected her.
not
Exactly, which is
protecting Sophie.
it was his job to come up with that. Men are dumb. I also then we would never have the plot that we do, and
Right, exactly.
there would be no
Oh
tension to
wait,
overcome.
the
Yes.
fact that Alfie walks Sophie down the aisle,
Oh, I love.
so cute.
It
That
was
was so cute.
adorable. I loved that. And then Hazel was her maid of honor.
Yeah.
And then Irma was there. And just
Yeah.
the Crabtree. Just
I loved that it was like like Sophie's side was her like found family of servants and they were
yes.
put on equal footing with
Yes.
the Bridgertons on the other side.
Yes. That meant the world because I didn't want it. You don't want it to be like, well, she's been elevated, and so we're just leaving this goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And
She's very much like, no,
hmm
like I'm
no, this
bringing
is my
everyone
found
with me.
family.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, I love that also Violet was like used her like I'm just a girl to like get Sophie out. She was like, I can't cope without my lady's maid,
Yeah.
Judge. Flutter, flutter of the
Flutter,
eyelashes.
flutter,
Like,
flutter.
please, I'm just a poor girl who needs a lady's maid.
I just need her to do my hair. What am I to do without her?
Yeah, but and Benedict is like immediately picks it up like, please, my poor mother.
My
She's just
mother.
a silly woman.
She's just help me, help her. You know
Please,
how
you
miserable I will
kind
be.
judge.
Oh, and yeah, I loved that just being able to like be more likable than Araminta. Araminta being all force
Right,
and
exactly.
Violet just being like, I'm gonna get my
And
way.
and the judge getting annoyed with it. The judge is
Yes,
like, Araminta, can you just fucking like please?
drop
Like we're
it.
offering a solution. Chill the fuck out.
Yes, like you're
Yeah.
being irrational
He's like,
here.
can we talk to can you guys just talk to each other? Like this is annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, we never got any resolution that they were paste shoe clips. So I guess it's
No.
just
Well, I think that that was one of the reasons that Araminta would not accept payment for them because then it would
Mm.
reveal that they were paste and she would have to reveal her money struggles.
Does she have money struggles though? Sounds like they don't. Like they moved in. Maybe it's
Yeah, they
just
moved
like
into Grosvenor Square.
they moved
Like,
in. Yeah. And they had the dowries and she had collected all
yeah,
that money. So maybe it's just
I don't know.
who knows.
Yeah, I
But
don't know why. Yeah, it felt like that was a dropped thread.
mhm.
But one of few. Normally the seasons have a lot more dropped threads.
Yeah, this show did a good job of like keeping everything woven together.
Yeah.
Go Jess Brownwell.
Elodie, what was the last book that made you want to stay up all night reading?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm still reading the
Still
um
role model, still Game Changers. I just
still
finished
reading
The
Game
Long
Changers.
Game. I just
It's
finished The Long Game.
oh, we need to talk about that. Okay.
Because my library had it had like the ebooks in a collection, like Game Changers Part 1, Game Changers Part 2. So even though there's like a 3-month wait, like that one, the like collection of the last
Got
three
opened up.
books
Smart.
did not have a wait. So I like, but that means I had to like go through them really quickly because
Oh, yes.
before the hold ran out.
Oh, but they're books that you do want to stay up all night reading and you can just
Yeah.
tear through
Mhm.
and you want to stay in the world, so you want to go immediately to the next book, which I
Yeah.
think is the real testament.
Yeah.
But you know,
Which one are
with
you? Are
the,
you still on role model?
I'm
Or are
on
you?
her, I think I'm in her first book actually. So out of the Game Changers,
Oh.
her first standalone. I'm trying to remember the name
Oh,
of it.
okay.
And it's wonderful. It's a second chance romance
Oh.
and full of yearning and the shots
Yeah.
you take.
The shot to take. Yeah, I knew it
It's
was a
on
hockey
Kindle
one.
Unlimited.
Yeah.
Hockey light. Heavy on yearning, on breakfast food, on the ocean. It's really wonderful. And like the flashbacks to their younger days when they're first together are just Rachel Reed, incredible, incredible author and storyteller.
Amazing.
So, what about you? What are you reading?
Oh, well, I'm actually having a really great reading experience. Like I was in a little bit of a slump after the Game Changers, but I'm reading. I was telling you before we started recording, listener, I'm reading The Last Lady B by Eloise James, which is her book that's coming out in May. And loving it. Like it's so much fun. It's gothic, first person historical romance, and then I'm listening to Sweet Heat by Bolu Babalola, which I enjoy. Is like the second book. It's like a second chance romance, but like you saw the college romance in Honey and Spice, which is like her first book. So it's
I'm
like
so
those
excited.
characters broke up, now got back together, or
Oh,
getting
I'm
back together.
are getting back. Oh, I'm ready. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm going on a trip this weekend and I need to download my book for the car.
Definitely read Honey and Spice first.
Honey and Spice first.
Because I remember like I'd heard of Honey and Spice, but it's a college romance, so I wasn't like
Yeah.
super into. I
Oh,
was like, oh, I don't really want to read this, and I didn't realize that Sweet Heat, and but like Sweet Heat, like I'd had it on hold at the library, it had like been on my list, and I didn't realize that it was like a sequel. Like it is the same characters, so like it is kind of necessary to read Honey and Spice.
oh,
Like Honey and Spice
the
has a
first
traditional
book.
HEA, like you could just read that one. But then like
Yeah.
this is the same characters, so like I think you do need to read Honey and Spice to fully appreciate Sweet Heat.
Okay. Appreciate it. Into it. I like to the option to like get to stay in a world, which I think is
Yeah.
what I'm normally not into like the sequel, like
Yeah.
direct sequel, but Game Changers changed my mind in the long game.
Yeah.
And like I just want to stay with these couples and see them grow.
Yeah.
This is
I
good.
just want more.
I want more. I'm greedy. Oh, well, thank you for letting me to crash and
Thank
go
you.
through every inch of Bridgerton.
Thank you for coming on. And listener, if you want to talk more about Bridgerton season 4 and make sure that you are in the know about all future episodes, make sure to follow the podcast at We Read It One Night on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and TikTok. You can email me, wereaditonenight@gmail.com, if you have a book request that you want us to do a deep dive on, or a movie or a rom-com, or an author that you would love for me to interview on the podcast. Slide into my DM, send me an email. Some of the best free ways to show your support for the podcast are leaving a rating and review on your podcasting app, sharing with friends and family who you think might like the podcast, and downloading the episode when you listen to it, because that is how podcast metrics are measured. And if you have some extra room in your budget and you want to support the podcast monetarily, you can buy me a coffee in the link in the description. You can also visit my Etsy shop, which has literary, romance, sapphic themed prints and designs. And any book that we talk about in the episodes will be linked on my bookshop.org storefront, which is linked in the description of this episode. So if you buy through that link, then I get a percentage of the sale, which is always helpful for things like hosting fees, equipment fees. Thank you so much for listening. Godspeed, comrades.